विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमान कृष्ण भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाराज की
जय।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
जय।
इस्कॉन फाउंडराचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय।
नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की
जय।
जन्म से को श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की
जय।
जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की
जय।
मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की
जय।
नवदीप मायापुर धाम की
जय।
उच्चतम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की
जय।
जय श्री श्री राधा शरद बिहारी की
जय।
जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की
जय।
परम करुणा श्री श्री गौर निताय की
जय।
भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की
जय।
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
जय।
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण।
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण।
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण।
All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Good morning. Welcome everyone. We'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, The Creation, Chapter 13, which is Dhritarashtra quits home, and text 26. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. So text 26. Gataswarthamimam deham virakta mukta bandhanaha avigyata gatirjahyat savedhira udahutaha. Gataswarthamimam deham virakta mukta bandhanaha avigyata gatirjahyat savedhira udahutaha. Gata swarthamimam deham virakta mukta bandhanaha avigyata gatirjohyat savedhira udahutaha. Please recite.
Gata svartam imam deham virakto mukta bandhana avigyata gatir jahyat svavaidhira udahrita.
Hare Krishna. Gata swartha imam deham virakto mukta bandhanaha abhigyata gatir jahyata savadhir udahirtaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Gata swartam imam deham varakto mukta bandhanaha avigyatnata gatir jayat savadira udarita. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Gataswartham imam deham virakto mukta bandhana अविज्ञाता गतिर्जाह्यात् स वै धीर उदात्तः.
Hare Krishna. Gata swartham imam deham virakto mukta bandhanaha abhignata gatir jahyat savedhira udahritaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Gate swartham imam deham virakto mukta bandhanaha avigyata gatir jayat savaidira udashritaha. Hare Krishna.
Gata swartham imam deham virakto mukta bandhana avijñata gatir jahyat savaidhira udahrita.
Thank you.
Ga-
Yeah, go ahead.
Gata swartham imam deham virakto mukta bandhana avignata gatir jhayat savai dhira udhartha.
Good. Anyone else want to do? Okay, let's do the synonyms. Gatasva artham, without being properly utilized. Imam, this. Deham, material body. Viraktaha, indifferently. Mukta, being freed. Bandhanaha, from all obligations. Avigyata gatihi, unknown destination. Jayat, one should give up this body. Saha, such a person. Vai, certainly. Dhiraha, undisturbed. Udahritaha, is said to be so. Translation purport by His Divine Guest, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He is called undisturbed, who goes to an unknown, remote place and freed from all obligations. Quits his material body when it has become useless. Purport. Narottam Das Thakur, a great devotee and acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava sect, has sung, "My Lord, I have simply wasted my life, having obtained the human form, human body. I have neglected to worship your lordship, and therefore I have willingly drunk poison." In other words, the human body is especially meant for cultivating knowledge of devotional service to the Lord, without which life becomes full of anxieties and miserable conditions. Therefore, one who has spoiled his life without such cultural activities is advised to leave home without knowledge of friends and relatives, and being thus freed from all obligations of family, society, country, etc., give up the body at some unknown destination so that others may not know where and how he has met his death. Dhira means one who is not disturbed, even when there is sufficient provocation. One cannot give up a comfortable life, family life, due to his affectionate relation with wife and children. Self-realization is obstructed by such undue affection for family. And if anyone is at all able to forget such a relation, he is called undisturbed or dhira. This is, however, the path of renunciation, based on a frustrated life. But stabilization of such renunciation is possible only by association with bona fide saints and self-realized souls, by which one can be engaged in the loving devotional service of the Lord. Sincere surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is possible by awakening the transcendental sense of service. This is made possible by association with pure devotees of the Lord. Dhritarashtra was lucky enough to have a brother whose very affection was a source of liberation for this frustrated life. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tashmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbisesa Sunyavadi Paschat Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. He is called undisturbed who goes to an unknown remote place and freed from all obligations, quits his material body when it has become useless. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. I would like to seek blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas, senior Vaishnavas, to share, though I don't have much realization on this. These are the subject matters, not everybody wants to hear this. It's the bitter truth. This Dhritarashtra quits home. Quitting, in generally quitting, we don't like it. No one likes it, especially when one is attached to certain things. In family also, you will find, we are attached, addicted to electronics. Quitting is very difficult. And there's a frustration happens at home also. And anything addiction is quitting is very difficult. That's why it is beyond within the capacity of any ordinary soul to quit anything. As Lord Krishna says that Daivasi Gunamaya Mama Maya Durataya. My Daivi energy is very, very powerful. No one can overcome that. Good thing for us is that for everything we can connect with Krishna's statement and it helps us. But this is not available to everybody. Well, it is available to everybody. It's not acceptable, not known to everybody. So quitting is very difficult, and especially when a living entity is born with a certain environment. As soon as he's born, he considers himself, here is my mother, here is my father, here is my brother, here is my country, here is my kinsman, and this is I'm this body. Janasya Maham Aham Mamayat is very, very strong. Within ISKCON also, we had, of course, ISKCON is a society. This chapter shows how one should transcend to these designations. But initially, when members come, we also have our own identification. I'm Indian devotee, American devotee, and so, male devotee, female devotee, right? So black and white, everything, all these designations are there. But ISKCON as a spiritual society is meant to cure these diseases, not to live with these diseases. That's why there are many confusions, agreements and disagreements happens because of this understanding. It is there, but it is meant to cure. We have to overcome, gradually overcome. So here Vidura is coming and is staying there with Dhritarashtra for some time with the purpose to help his brother. And now who is brother? He's Dhritarashtra. He's staying with Yudhishthira's place to help his brother Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra, we all know his character. It's so amazing that even after all these incidents happened, Dhritarashtra is not ready to give up the situation. This is called Maya. This is the power of Maya. You have seen in many bodies, right? So many people, they're already very, very old, bodies not functioning, not able to eat properly, not able to sleep properly. Still, there's a strong desire. Oh, I wish to see my great-grandchild's marriage. It happens. I have seen, oh, I want to eat this. My mother tells the story, some of the family members, when they are about to leave the body. So when you ask them, okay, what is your desire? Oh, I want to eat this. I heard it. So, and one cannot just come out of this lust so easily. Just because body is old, one cannot be free from the lust. The Akbar's conversation with Birbal, we can see he proved that no, your body may be old, but what is in the heart of the body can be still same. The lust. So it's coming out of this situation is not very easy. Many times people say, well, one can very gradually, automatically can come out of it. No, it's very rare cases. If it happens, maybe it's very rare cases. But in general, you need some external help. The one who is free from, the one who is self-realized, the one who is very conviction, the one who has come out of this situation, he only can help. That's why Lord Krishna comes. That's why Lord Krishna comes, that to help the living entities, to get them out of this attachment. Jeev jaga, Gora Chand bole, Kota nidra jal maya, Pisachira kole. How long will you lie in the lap of Pisachi Maya? The reason is you will suffer. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is trying to wake up all the souls. Here, Vidura is very compassionate to his brother, his relative, particularly. Now when he comes this time, he's giving such a heavy words. If you all remember these words, it's very heavy. No one can take it unless one is ready. So he says that so he's speaking to Dhritarashtra, saying that your body is collapsed, your teeth are loose, your kidney, everything is spoiled, liver is spoiled. You're so old and you're living in a house, that family whom you give trouble. How shameless you are. Many times people, we are not ready to, not people, we are not ready to accept the truth. We like to hear the sweet pastimes, right? Jumping on directly in Krishna's pastimes. But these are the very foundational for taking sincere devotional service. We come to the movement because the foundational knowledge why we have come is missing. We never connect with that. We forget the purpose. Then what happens is we react to the situations. We forget the purpose. So Vyavasayatma Buddhi is that we know the purpose of coming and assimilate and understand, accept whatever the teachings has been given voluntarily. A couple of years back, when I started during Corona time, the reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita online. So there's a person who has been with us for almost 10 years, more than 10 years. He also joined. So when that time where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is literally chastising, literally using the words, foolish, mudha, lowest of the people like that, those who do not know Gaur and Nita. So he became so disturbed. He was not ready to accept it. Many times people, not everybody is ready to accept all kind of, all the portions of the Vedic literatures. So that's why there's a strategy you give what the person is ready to hear. But especially this subject where Vidura is directly chastising Dhritarashtra to speak the reality, is called a friend. The friend is one who speaks the truth. And the friend is the one who speaks the truth. Even though it's heavy, but this time seems like Dhritarashtra is going to listen, hear, accept his brother's statements. Now, this verse, particularly this verse, is saying, he is called undisturbed who goes to an unknown remote place and freed from all obligations, quits his material body when it has become useless. Basically, he is suggesting, Vidura is suggesting Dhritarashtra to do this. This is what he should do it. He said, what is the point of staying in a place? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. You enjoyed your life, material life. Now work on liberation. He may not be ready for bhakti. Work on liberation. And lying with this just for the piece of bread and not being taken care of by anybody, this body is going to be collapsed. So you should become dhira. Dhiras tatra namayate. As Lord Krishna explains, dhiras tatra namayate. So this Krishna conscious movement is, whether we accept or not, we are ready or not, but actually to make everyone dhira. And dhira is one who is not disturbed, who is undisturbed in even in the worst of the situations. We can see there are so many devotees in our movement who are acting actually were very dhiras. They are not disturbed very much. And we can see the example and we can follow their footsteps and also aspire to get this. Now in the reading, in the teachings purport, Srila Prabhupada says, self-realization is obstructed by such undue affection for family, and if anyone is at all able to forget such a relation, he is called undisturbed or dhira. However, this is the path of renunciation based on the frustrated life. He's saying, this is based on you are forced to become dhira of realizing because you're frustrated. But there's another one to become dhira also voluntarily by the mercy of the spiritual teachers. But stabilization of such renunciation is possible only by association with bona fide saints and self-realized souls, by which one can be engaged in the loving devotional service of the Lord. So basically what he's saying, you may be frustrated and you act like dhira, you will go away, but you may not sustain. Always you will miss your family members, or you will miss all your past. So that dhira is not perfect, but the real perfection comes when we come actually real in our life, really saintly persons in our life. And we can see in our life, there's so many devotees, or at least one devotee acted in our transformation, right? So I was referring to Prabhupada's pastime, because Prabhupada writes here, he says that sincere surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is possible by awakening the transcendental sense of service. And that is made possible by association with pure devotees of the Lord. So Prabhupada, when he was young, very young, he met his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It is said that sadhu sanga sarva shastra kahe lava matra sadhu sanga Sarva Siddhi Hai. He met briefly Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And the big transformation happened in his life, even in his young age. He carried the instructions of his spiritual master in his heart. Actually, if you look into it very deeply, we look into it, Prabhupada was liberated there itself. Yeah, you can say he's liberated from his eternal associate of the Lord in pure devotee, yes. But still from this, as that Leela has taken place when he comes in association of his spiritual master, that time itself is liberated from all these bodily identifications. He has carried the instructions of his spiritual master very sincerely in his heart. Even though externally he was engaged in so many activities, college studies, marriage, family, business, everything, but in his heart, he was always contemplating, how can I fulfill the mission of my spiritual master? So because of association of saintly person, little association, one can have a big transformation. He hardly met many times. Maybe say this 2 or 3 times only he has met. So then we can see a little bit, the transformation took place in Prabhupada's life. In Lilamrita, he's writing, Prabhupada is always being kind of back and forth in his home for business and so many purposes. He was going out of the home. He had a business in Allahabad. He had a business in Allahabad. His children are not settled. They were not married also during that time. But he was still doing all the responsibilities, worldly responsibilities. But he was his goal was to serve his mission of the spiritual master. So he says that I wanted as much as possible to get her to work with me in spreading Krishna consciousness. Basically, he's referring to his wife. This incident happens. How he has been voluntarily developed detachment because of association of spiritual master. There's a frustrated way, there's a voluntary way, right? So Prabhupada says, I wanted as much as possible to get her to work with me in spreading Krishna consciousness, to get her help. But she was very determined. She would not help me in spreading Krishna consciousness. So finally, after many years, I could understand she would not be any assistance to me. She was very attached to drinking tea. I was always telling her not to drink tea because I wanted to have a nice Vaishnava family. So although I was repeatedly telling her, this time I finally said, you have to choose between me or tea. Either the tea goes or I go. In this way, I was even criticizing my own family. But because they were thinking I was the household or father, I was the husband or father, they couldn't take any of my instructions seriously. So she replied, give up tea drinking or give up my husband? Well, I will have to give up my husband. Then, of course, she thought I was joking. So this is we can meditate on this. There's a frustration, is there? We can say there's a frustration. Srila Prabhupada had to go through the frustration. He wanted to make, but this frustration is spiritual, is a purpose of spiritual. When you practice spiritually, there will be obstructions will come because of the family relationship. That's in this verse is also there, right? In this sloka, and purport, he says, self-realization is obstructed by such undue affection for family. If anyone is at all able to forget such a relation, he is called undisturbed or dhira. So we can see Prabhupada was dhira. Even though his situation is so much, he has not done taken responsibility of his family. He's fulfilling the family needs. He's expecting his family will help him in this higher cause, because the danger which is going to come, old age, death, to help the mankind, and the family is not cooperating. So this is a proper way we can accept. This is the proper way. Spiritually, one can be frustrated because nobody is cooperating. And what happened? This incident happened. Radharani, his wife, made a great mistake. So in India, if you know, newspapers used to come, daily newspaper and magazines and this and that come, and people keep them, stock them, pile up them, right? So you can trade, and what this is recycling system. It's a good, actually. We should have it here also. So it's a trading system. So a person comes, he takes this old newspapers and books, and he gives you some something out of it, some money or something as a gift in a trade. So Prabhupada's surprised. What happened that day? The barter, the man who came, Radharani actually took Prabhupada's Srimad Bhagavatam, which is life and soul of Srila Prabhupada. And she traded it for tea biscuits, because he's addicted to it, drink tea biscuits. When Abhay came home and looked for the book, she told him what had happened. She was so dared to tell that I traded for tea biscuits. She hadn't taken the matter as very serious thing. She was out of tea biscuits, but Abhay was shocked. So at the beginning, he felt depressed, what's happening. But then a wave of absolute resolution passed over him. What happened? His family life is finished. So in his mind, sometimes you're not sure am I taking right decision or not? Am I doing right or not? Is the right time or not? But this moment, Prabhupada says, no, this is final. He has taken the final decision. When he told them that he's leaving, they thought that, okay, he left so many times in the past and came back. Again, he will come back again. But this time, no. Everybody thinks that he will come back. Prabhupada was very, very determined that he will never come back again. So in spiritual life, determination is needed. It's not like you take a vow and then you repeat the same mistakes again. And in another incident, when Prabhupada had opened this League of Devotees in Jhansi in May 16, 1953, he was very comfortable. He was very confident that this will go well, nice. He had the inauguration ceremony, and he was comfortable. So what happened? His past life was seeming further and further behind him each day. One day, he had been in Jhansi for 6 months. A telegram arrived, bringing a startling reminder of his past connections. His business in Allahabad had been burglarized. His servants had stolen all his money and medicine and anything else of value. Prabhupada was a druggist. He was a druggist. When I say this one, it reminds me of this funny story. When Shyam Sundar Prabhu was telling Prabhupada, maybe Vishnugata Prabhu can add details on this. Shyam Sundar Prabhu was telling Prabhupada, I was a drug dealer. Prabhupada said, oh, I was also a drug dealer. So in India, drug means it's medicine, right? So I was also a drug dealer. So Shyam Sundar Prabhu said, wow, he was also a drug dealer. So anyway, so when he heard this, all his business and everything was kind of gone. What will be our situation in general? We'll be broken, right? We are renounced, but at the same time, our mind and heart is in our family and home and this and that, constantly thinking. We're living in the forest, but thinking of the home. But this is natural. We live. But here, Prabhupada what did he think? His mind is saying that Yashyaham anugrahami harishetat dhanam sanei tato dhanam tyajyanti asya sya janan dukhitam. So I was referring this from Srimad Bhagavatam. Here, Krishna is saying the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. Then the relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way, he suffers one distress after another. So Prabhupada immediately thought of this in this situation. This whatever happened as the Lord's mercy. Whatever happened as the Lord's mercy. So in association of the pure devotees, sincere devotees, this knot of material existence is very easy to break. Otherwise, it is not possible at all. Brahma bhuvanaloka punaravartin arjuna. Krishna is saying, from again and again we traverse from different species of life and coming back. Remembering this, this human life has been given in one opportunity, and one should utilize it. And how to utilize this? As a frustrated way or a voluntarily. And voluntarily, we understand the nature of this body. Voluntarily, we nature what is going to come to us, and engage, follow the instructions, even if you don't like it. I'm talking to myself. Many times we accept the instructions only when we like, right? When we don't like, that we don't accept. We have so many comments on this. But that shows we are dhira or not. That shows whether we are dhira or not. This movement is giving us a great opportunity, and we can see in our movement actually, even recently our Chaitanya Jivan Prabhu, I don't know much about the history, life and everything, but we can see how he was always focused in serving Lord Jagannath. Always focused on serving Lord Jagannath. And he was very soft also in speaking, very soft. And during Rath Yatra, when I was working with him, I didn't know that he had a cancer. If we get into this situation, oh my God, I will be losing this, I'm losing that. It's constant disturbance in our mind. We cannot take a small issue in our life. And he knows that everything is material is going to be taken away from him. Still, without being disturbed, without being expecting sympathy to anybody, he continued his service, and very wonderful way he left the body in association. We don't have to look for thousands of miles or hundreds and thousands of years history. We can look into our own now. This Rath Yatra, and I was appreciating all the time how our senior devotees, Vishnugata Prabhu, Vamandev Prabhu, they all are in age they are very senior, and in devotion very senior, but in age they are very, very senior. But they have taken this serious, responsible task in their hand and to do it. This is the example. This is the example that we are very fortunate to have this Krishna consciousness and Vaishnavas in our life. They will set the example, and we will follow the path. It's 8:33. I'm sorry, I may not have that realizations on this subject matter, but I accept. Many times when we speak, it's because it's not palatable subject matter. Giving up anything is no one is ready to accept it. Tell me what you're giving. That's why when you have programs, you have to write, you're getting free this, you're getting free book, you're getting free bars, you're getting free medicine, you're getting free. Okay, I'm coming there. But a dhira will not look for anything free. The dhira will voluntarily do service. So from free mindset to genuine mind, we have to progress, and our movement is certainly going to give us this success. Hare Krishna. Please, Vishnugata Prabhu, please correct me and others also. Comments. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I was tough. Big subject was like that. It talks about renunciation.
If anybody has any questions or comments or realizations, please just unmute yourself and go ahead.
There will be so many corrections also into it.
I think the one point that I was thinking about is how to see, like you were saying, of course, we should go back and look at our Vaishnava Acharyas and their example and try to follow them. But I think it is also important for us to recognize these qualities in people around us, big and small. Sometimes it is small things, but still that makes us stay alert, stay aware, and constantly be conscious, recognizing these qualities. And like you said, it is a very serious topic. Hare Krishna, Vishnugata Prabhu, he has his hand up.
Hare Krishna, Mother Shobharade, Krishna Kirtan Prabhu. So from this verse, would it be appropriate for ISKCON devotees, who are want to renounce, to do the same kind of thing as Dhritarashtra did, just leave in the middle of the night without anybody knowing and go to a secluded place? Is that something that is being recommended here?
This is a general subject. This is general subject spoken in general, because Dhritarashtra is speaking to Dhritarashtra. It has to be based on the person's situation. Dhritarashtra was not at all inclined to any kind of detachment. So Vidura suggested this is better. If you anyway you're dying, better die as a dhira like this. But at the same time, Prabhupada says self-realization is obstructed by such undue affection for family. He is called undisturbed or dhira. Based on one's purpose, one should make decision. It's not like that you get out of one place and go and become burden in another place. Many times this happens, that you become so kind and compassionate to somebody to help, and the other person takes advantage of it. And recently we had a man who was kicked out from some other place. We helped him. He's a more than 60-year-old man, and we helped him to, maybe you can help him rendering service, but he was taking advantage of the situation. So that's not advisable. But for higher purpose, it is advisable, because there has to be a balance within the society. There should be renounced people, devotees. There should be brahmacharis. There should be grihasthas. So there is nothing wrong once fulfilled his mission to dovetail full 100% in the movement. I don't know if you're referring to that, or you're referring to just get away from the responsibility of the family and just go away, live somewhere. That you're referring.
Yes, I was referring to that second thing.
Yeah. In somewhere in the Srimad Bhagavatam also, Prabhupada, he writes, devotee's mind will be always like that. They want to always live. Mind will be there, yeah, but at the same time, just because our mind says we can render the responsibilities given, and just as Prabhupada planned, one can plan also. He said he tried to get his children married, but they say that sometimes I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet to get married. Well, Prabhupada said, if you're not ready, what can I do now? And I wanted to help you, but my time is running out. Right. So simply running away from home, spiritual life is not running away from responsibilities. it has to be a proper purpose, and it has proper attitude. Just staying in the temple is not the purpose. For a purpose, you're staying in the temple. For a purpose, you're staying in the temple. Staying in the temple is not itself is a purpose. So everybody who's taking this path will be nice to know what is the purpose I'm here. So yeah, in that purpose one can do, because otherwise not just simply running away. Now nobody's taking care of me. I'm not getting good food. I'm going to tell you, there are so many people I meet, especially in India, it's very common, even they're young, my husband is not taking care of me, this is not taking care of me. Can you please find me a temple where I can live there? So sometimes old people are say, can you please find me a temple where we can live there? I said, temple is not there to take care of your old body. So basically, why I give this example is their thought is, I will run away from this trouble and I'll sleep very peacefully in temple premises, and I'll get 1 or 2 meals a day. That kind of that's not the real purpose. And at the beginning, this chapter, Prabhupada refers this verse. This is Narottam Das Thakur's. Manusya janama paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya janiya sonia biso khaino. My Lord, I have simply wasted my life. Having obtained the human body, I have neglected to worship your lordship, and therefore I have willingly drunk poison. And that understanding comes when we come in as somebody enlightens us, like Vidura. It does not come that I'm old and I didn't do anything. It's very rare. I think that Brahmana, Avanti Brahmana, somehow the Bhagavatam did not provide much clear when Krishna experienced Avanti Brahmana. Avanti Brahmana, somehow he got realizations. Of course, he got troubled by others. Maybe that gave him realization. Do you have anything to say on that? How Avanti Brahman suddenly got realization within his mind while he's going through all this turmoil of disturbance people are giving him.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
The question I asked was this leaving home in the middle of the night, was that something that devotees do? And I gather from, I'm not sure if I understood your answer. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada notes that it's for those who haven't cultured devotional service.
Right.
But then the example you gave of Srila Prabhupada leaving home just after this discussion with his wife about tea or me, seems like it does sometimes occur even within devotional families and devotional devotees who are doing devotional service. So the conclusion I would come to would be, for those who are materially involved, definitely get out. And for those who are devotional and doing devotional service, it might be sometimes required. It might be sometimes a good idea to get out, even without letting people know. When there are many examples of devotees in the Hare Krishna movement who left their family situation abruptly to engage in devotional service to Krishna. So it might be, so that might be sometimes a path that they take. Srila Prabhupada, you mentioned, left abruptly his family situation. Why? And not just to loiter, but to engage more fully and more dedicated into the service of the Lord. And of course, at the same time, he was being encouraged in various ways, but particularly by his spiritual master came to him in dreams, encouraging him for renunciation, for giving up the family. So another question might be, is this only for men? Was this also for ladies? That's another question you might ask.
Yeah. Well, everyone is a spirit soul, and everyone is free to make decisions. Man or woman restrictions or comes within the Daivi Varnashrama, in the Varnashrama system when they are nowadays so many ladies also go. But I'm not going to speak much on that. But when you say Prabhupada, actually what I was referring is that Prabhupada had met his spiritual master when he was young. It is not abrupt. It has been his mission. But when finally, when things didn't work, he did not get much cooperation, he decided must fulfill my spiritual master's mission. Sai Prandat Prabhu has raised the hand. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, just going back to Vishnugada Prabhu's earlier question, in the purport, the way I was understanding is, even for the materialist, it does not seem to indicate to leave home. Rather, get association of saintly persons. Somehow, in that purport which is highlighted, these lines, it says the path of renunciation based on a frustrated life. This is, however, a path, but stabilization of such renunciation is possible only by association with bona fide saints. So it doesn't seem to indicate that it's okay for materialists to quit home. Am I reading this right?
Yeah.
Vishnugada Prabhuji, Krishna Kirtan Prabhu.
Yeah, basically what happens is, in the previously we know there are four ashramas. Vanaprastha is voluntarily, when they leave for voluntary Vanaprastha doesn't mean that, that doesn't mean that they have already realized the self, already into the devotional service. Basically, they're voluntarily giving up to learn about, to associate with the sadhus. So just living for Vanaprastha is not enough until their perfection comes, until they meet, they go to different holy places and serve the sadhus, hear from them. That's why living is recommended in the Vedas anyway. Vishnugada, you can share that. This.
Oh, so Vidura didn't make a mistake in instigating and inspiring Dhritarashtra to leave home. Did he make a mistake?
No, of course not. Because
I thought it wasn't for people who are.
Well, that is always their recommend, because sometimes you need help, just like what is name Indra, when he got into this pig's body, and he was enjoying, but Brahma came. They need help to them get him out of it. So it is recommended that one should work on detachment.
Look at earlier in the purport. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Therefore, one who has spoiled his life without such cultural activities. What are those cultural activities? The devotional service, right?
Service, right.
Is advised to leave home. That's what it says. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. It is advised to go. But when this realization comes, this realization doesn't come. I have wasted my because this realization will come only when we come in association of devotee. We understand that, my goal is to serve Krishna. So then, oh my God, I wasted all my life throughout the life. But on the other hand, when you're old, or you can voluntarily look for the knowledge. One is seeking for the knowledge. Second is getting the knowledge, and third is living on that knowledge. So Vanaprastha is voluntarily taking. Now let me at least work on. Those are not in the platform devotional service I'm talking about. So let me take association and learn about the purpose of life and like that. So when they come, And then, oh, you know, devotional service is supposed to begin from the 5-year-old. So then he says, oh my God, whole life, what did I do? And the whole life I wasted. Unnecessarily, it's like drunk poison. It's like a lamentation, you know, that helps in spiritual growth. So we will have varieties of people lives in this world. It's not only devotees. Those who are not devotees, for them, they're recommended to live when you're a certain time, try to work on self-realization. And in order to get self-realization, you need association of, you're fortunate if you come in association of a devotee. And from there, your life start changing. I think we all are talking about the same thing, but one is in Krishna consciousness and one is not in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada's journey was a full of mission from beginning. He was purposeful. He was desiring to fulfill his spiritual master's mission. So that was not a material frustration for him, but rather he's fulfilled the mission. I don't know. Is that any more clarification you need, or from Vishnu Prabhu?
Yeah, but you know, I thought the original question was, do the ISKCON devotees recommend going, you know, recommend this process, right, Vishnu Prabhu? Is that what your original question was?
Yes.
Oh, that is the question. Well, purpose is griha thako, bane thako, sadavale hari dako. So in this age, there's no forest, and it's all temples. Being a temple president, I can tell, you know, how the situation, we have to live with situations. If you leave the home also, where will you go? And even if you go, we have to, our purpose has to be very clear. Now, recommendation is, we always, Krishna will say, everybody come 100%, always remember me, you know, give full everything to me, right? If you cannot do it, do this your regulated way. So that's the recommendation. But my purpose of living has to be very clear. You know, I cannot live, even if I'm a devotee, I'm seeing that. Even if a devotee doesn't, oh, I serve, now somebody should take care of me. You know, I will live in the temple, eat free food, free prasadam, you know, I'll spend my life. It's not very, very practical, even if I have a desire for this. So it is recommended that Prabhupada is the example of recommendation. Until last moment of a life, there should not be thinking I have done enough. You know, I want to do. Yeah, that is recommended. You know, in whatever ashram one is, one should be 100% Krishna consciousness with a purpose. I want to serve the movement, not being served. Then there'll be, who will not want? Every temple will be happy. You know, forest, of course, when we are talking about Vanprastha, we are talking about ISKCON temples. So temple will be happy that, okay, here this senior great Vaishnava with us. You know, I will be happy because I'm serving, if and as a person without any expectation. I was not given dal, I was not given sweet, I was not giving this, that. You know, these are our mature decisions has to be taken, not whimsically one can take whether leaving the house or not. Prabhupada took a mature decision. No matter what, I have to fulfill with all these inconveniences. And Prabhupada has set the standard. If anyone is ready to do that, they're welcome to do. They know, but not leaving the house with a thought of I'll get all the facilities in the temple, because there is no forest, no one stays in the forest anymore. So my understanding is that at this time, if a devotee is referring to Vanprastha, is referring to temple facilities, ISKCON temple facilities. So that is acceptable with a proper purpose. And of course, I'm not going to tell on behalf of whole ISKCON, but that's my understanding, actually. Please, I think 2 hands are raised. Bindavali Mataji, you also tell something.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So all this time you're talking about senior Vaishnavas leaving the house and staying in the temple. Is that right?
No, it's not like that. I was not talking about all that time. The question was asked,
Yeah.
Vishnugada Prabhu asked, is it okay for the devotees to live like this? That's the point I was saying. Is okay or not okay? Yeah, that's what I was saying.
No, but you're saying that, staying in this temple, get two meals free, and then not doing any devotional service. Is that
Yeah,
right?
right. Because my point is, when I go, my purpose has to be very clear. I cannot go with an expectation. I'm elderly, I have these problems, and I find very comfort in the temple premises. And that's good. It's coming with it, but doesn't mean that should be the purpose of taking one person leaving the house. We'll be trouble there also. Yes, please continue. That's what I was.
One more thing is you didn't talk about women. You didn't talk about women.
Human,
How
yeah.
so I see women may not be
Asking all
that
these tough questions to me.
women may not be that dhira like men, sometimes. Very rare, very rare. Their dhira also, there are lots of limitations for them. Is
Mm,
right.
mm.
So what is your suggestions in Vishnugada Prabhu's suggestions?
I don't know if he's there or not. To his question you're asking, okay, let's talk. I would say after serving these many years, I know time is running. We have to be very practical. It's not man or woman. In a society, we have to take care of everybody. Everybody's life is very, very important. It's not man and woman. Yeah, in other cultures, Vedic cultures, like ladies can stay home, they can be taken care of, son, husband or son, whatever it is. But in Kali Yuga, none of the systems are working. So any place, anywhere, it allows you to chant and remember the holy name. That's the best place. It's not the man or woman, or it's not the temple or outside of the temple. If wherever I am, that is allowing me to remember Krishna, serve Krishna. So that's the perfect place, I think. Otherwise, in ashrama, there's no difference. Whether they live outside, live inside. Bodily demands are there always. The path of realization in the previous ages are different than the path of realization now. In previous ages, you have to do so much of austerity. But in this age, simply chanting Hare Krishna wherever you are. So it's not the question of man or woman. It's question of what is my purpose, where this purpose will be fulfilled. So I should be able to continue this remembering and serving Krishna. That's my. I'm sure that we all are sincere devotees. We all have in our mind, and this thing I constantly think all the time. It's nothing new. How to help devotees in the difficult times. But challenges comes, in your project and everything. But let's depend on Krishna's mercy all the time. That is the thing. Make shamana. So, should we end it here? I'm sorry, it went to deep discussion, a lot of discussion, and so we'll end it here then today.
Yes, Prabhu, you have given us a lot of material to think about. At the point, I think, between yesterday's, we were reading Giriraj Maharaj's book. We just finished it yesterday, and it is ironic that it's the same topics that were being talked about, and Giriraj Maharaj essentially said renunciation does not. So it was, the temple was dedicated, the Juhu temple was opened, and there were a lot of guests, and the chief minister of Maharashtra was speaking, and we were discussing that, and Vishnugada Prabhu corrected me in the way I understood the comment. And the point, I think, is that we need to start working on detaching ourselves from material stuff, but at the same time attaching it, because like Vishnugada Prabhu was clarifying, we all have to attach ourselves to something. We cannot be without attachments, without desires. So we attach it to spiritual stuff, to Krishna. Then we detach. So it's not that attachment is bad or detachment is good. It is, we have to do it in the right way. And that's what Giriraj Maharaj was also saying. Sannyas is not necessary. It is renouncing but doing the service. And I think that is the point Vishnugada Prabhu was trying to come to, is that we don't just going away to the forest is good for people who are not doing it the right way. If that Yukta Vairagya is not there, then go to the forest. But we are being taught to stay here, but doing the service. That service is what is most important. But again, like you were saying, it's an individual introspection that each one of us has to do. Figure out how much we are attached to material stuff, how much we have detached. I don't have to prove it to you, right? I have to prove it to myself.
Yeah.
I have to check with myself and see how much am I attaching myself to Krishna and his service? How much am I detaching myself from these relationships which are getting me in trouble? It's for me. I have to do that work myself. You know, how much am I worried? We say, no, not this body, not this body, not this body all day long. But all we do is take care of this body, how I dress myself, what sari I wear, what jewelry, how I decorate myself. So those, like I was saying, you know, like you said, see the wonderful devotees that are in our, that we are in association with. We do see Vaishnava Acharyas, Haridas Thakur chanting so many rounds and all. But even in our daily life, see the good qualities in the devotees around us. Likewise, see what it is I am doing in my own life, with my own body, with my own service. How am I doing it? I have to answer to myself. And basically, I think that is the...
Yeah, very
Thank
nice.
you very much, Prabhu. You did give us a lot of things to think about.
I'm sorry.
No,
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
yesterday, Drona Prabhu was also saying the same thing. It is, you know, it's Vidura is talking about something very, very serious. And over the last few verses, so it's not just you, it's the last few verses and some verses going forward, we will be made to think through.
It is going to help. It's very important on our spiritual journey. It's not directly spiritual, but it is foundational for spiritual. It's very foundational for, and many times after years of SCC, we forget the real purpose of coming. You know, so it's nothing wrong to discuss all this subject.
Yesterday morning also we were discussing about senior homes and other things.
Oh, is it?
In India here, they're coming like anything, like mushrooms.
Everybody has different opinions or something. Did I have a different opinion today?
No, it is definitely a very serious topic for all of us, for some of us more so than others, because of the stage we are in.
The reason I said some of the things I said is from experience also. People try to make their life comfortable in their home sometimes. That's not the right thing also.
Exactly.
One has to be prepared. Now, many times people seek help. Unfortunately, only bodily help. Oh, in this age, I cannot eat, I cannot sleep, I can do, please help me. So that is not the vanaprastha also. So that, and when you talk about vanaprastha, then you're actually seeking shelter in the ISKCON temple. Very simple, if you're ISKCON devotee. And my observation is, even if you're trying to help somebody, many times they say after they come, we forget what other person is going through. Give me this facility, cleaning, cooking, giving, and then we start complaining. I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this, I don't have that. You get stuck with your bodily demands, unnecessary demands, rather than you forgetting the purpose you came to temple for, self-realization. So austerity has to be there in everywhere. Comforts will not be there. Little austerity will be there. And that gives a challenge also. I'm working on a project, I told. And the project is, if facility is not difficult, we can get it. But what happens when people come with a written motive that here I'll get 3 times food and I'll be taken care nicely. If something is not taken care, I will put in social media, or this person is not doing, this temple is not doing this, that. All these things are there. It's not just small decision. There has to be practicality of it. That's why many are not taking this initiative. But some or other, what we see is that no matter what, we need to remember Krishna in our last moment of our life. In order to do that, we have to serve now, practice now. And we have to build the facility for everything and simultaneously depend on Krishna for his mercy. It's thank you for everything.
I like that sloka also. No, dehinosmin yadati kaumaramya vanam jara sada dehantar praptir derastatra namohyate.
Yes.
So that is, we all have to go through all that.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Vanchakapatiyascha kripasindhubhyo Pattanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo.
Gantra Srimad